Dear business educators, dear students, dear SIEC ISBE friends. My name is Elisabeth Riebenbauer and we welcome you to our presentation about the sustainable implementation of high practice enterprises in higher education institutions. About 25 years ago, my colleague Michaela Stock founded our practice enterprise at the University of Graz in Austria. Since 2004, we run 2 practice firms with our students of business education and development. Practice enterprise is also a very important field of our research activities. I want to tell you now about something about practice enterprises. Practice enterprises are multidimensional teaching and learning methods where students work and learn in a business simulation. That means that they run their own simulated business company. Thereby, the outside contacts are real, but the flow of goods and services is simulated. There exists a worldwide economy for practice enterprises, and according to the Practice Enterprise Network, at the moment there are about 7,157 practice enterprises in 46 countries worldwide. So that is already quite impressive. But if you hear the number that 225,000 trainees are working and learning there per year, this is even more impressive. These practice enterprises are mainly run by schools and in adult education institutions. However, only a small number of practice enterprises worldwide is situated in higher education institutions such as universities. And this aspect we want to address today. Today, my colleague Gernot Dreisebner will introduce the concept of practice enterprises and its didactical potential to you. And then Teresa Feuchter will continue and illustrate to you how a practice enterprise might be implemented at higher education institutions. Enjoy the presentation, and I hand over to Gernot Dreisebner now.
So let's start with introducing you to the concept of a practice enterprise, or in short, PE. A practice enterprise might also be denoted as virtual enterprise, or, especially in the German-speaking countries, as practice firm. And such a practice enterprise works nearly like a real-life business, where students are selling and purchasing goods to other practice enterprises in a vast international network of more than 7,000 practice enterprises. Within their individual practice enterprise, students focus on daily business activities such as purchasing and selling goods to other practice enterprises, but also related tasks such as marketing or accounting for their individual PE, and they are also involved in the strategic planning of their practice enterprise. From a student perspective, students can take 2 roles within a practice enterprise. On the one hand side, students are workers in their respective departments or processes, and this perspective can be denoted as the business side of a PE. However, students are also learners which are trying to enhance their competences within the PE, and this perspective might be denoted as the learning side of a practice enterprise. Practice enterprise is only one type of various types of learning companies. All learning companies have in common that they are business simulations for learning purposes. And there are 3 different types of learning companies. One type of learning company is the learning office. And within the learning office, the flow of goods and services is simulated, and also the external contacts are of simulated nature and are simulated by the teacher or trainer. Within a practice enterprise, which is the method we set focus on within this presentation, The flow of goods and services is simulated, so there are no real goods and services exchanged between those 7,000 practice enterprises worldwide. However, the external contacts are very real, since the students interact with real students working in those international practice firms they are collaborating with. Within a junior company, which is the third type of a learning company we're talking here, the flow of goods and services is real. The external contacts are also real. However, in contrast to the method of practice enterprises, they have no contacts with other junior companies, but just with their individual customers, so they do not have this vast international network such as the practice enterprises. Let's have a look at the didactical potential of a practice enterprise. Within a practice enterprise, the PE trainer plays a key role. However, the learners must be given the opportunity to act and work independently. And the main goal of the PE work, or the main goal of this multidimensional teaching and learning setting of a practice enterprise, is for the students to achieve a holistic, integrative ability to act. This is also denoted as competence of action taking, or in German as Handlungskompetenz. And this competence of action taking consists of 4 competence dimensions. Those dimensions are the professional competence, for example, skills in marketing or in accounting, the social competence, for example, being able to work within a team, the methodological competence, such as being able to present things to others, presentation skills, and last but not least, self-competences such as time management. And all those 4 competence dimensions together form what we call the holistic integrative ability to act, or this competence of action taking. Within a practice enterprise, students must be given the opportunity to work and act independently to actually achieve this competence of action taking. And on the right hand side of this slide, you can see how this complete control cycle of action works within a practice enterprise. It all starts with a phase of target formulation, where students and teachers together agree on their aims for the upcoming semester, for example, and then the PE trainer or PE teacher gradually goes back into the background of this teaching and learning setting, works as mentor or coach for the individual students, and the students now have the task to plan what steps they have to take to reach the goals they have agreed on. They have to do those steps actually, so they have to execute the activities, have to execute their PE work in order to reach their aims. Then they also check what they have done. For example, they write a letter to another practice enterprise ordering new goods, and they check this letter themselves if there are any mistakes in it. And afterwards, the process of target formulation starts again, with the teacher being highly involved in this phase again. If we look at the method of PE, we can distinguish between 3 different levels of perception. First, but not the most important level, is the company level or the business side of the PE. This is where students work within their individual practice enterprises, selling goods and services to other practice enterprises, purchasing goods from other practice enterprises. But students do this just because they want to acquire new skills, want to acquire new competences. So the second level of the method of PE, and the most important level, is the level of learning, which is denoted as the learning side of the method within this slide. And then we have also a meta level built around those 2 levels, which is concerned with the design of the practice enterprise, the modeling, which is also a very important aspect of the PE work, a very important aspect also for the PE teacher or trainer. And so this meta level is also concerned with the aspect of how to lead a practice enterprise as a teacher. The method of practice enterprise is highly versatile and might be applied in various settings and for various age groups. For example, at the secondary level of education, especially in vocational education and training, but also, just like we do it at the University of Graz, with the target group of university students, but also with job seekers or entrepreneurs. The method of PE fits perfectly. So it's a highly versatile method to promote action-oriented learning. One huge advantage of the method of PE is that students are able to experience complex economic relationships between this vast international network of more than 7,000 practice enterprises worldwide firsthand. Within this graphical representation, we just show you the relationships between 3 practice enterprises which are linked through transactions, so they are selling goods and services of fictitious nature to each other. And every practice enterprise has its own employees, which are represented by the students working and learning within this practice enterprise. The employees receive a fictitious salary, and this salary is later on transferred back to the PE market via staff purchases. So the employees act as customers, or more specifically as consumers, on the PE market, simulating this important part of the PE economy. Additionally, there are on a national level national central offices which provide services such as a tax office. For Austria, for example, this national office is called the Austrian Center for Training Firms, or abbreviated ACT. On international level, Europan, Pan International provides services for national central offices and practice enterprises worldwide.
Let's talk about designing a practice enterprise at a higher education institution. The key factor for a successful implementation of a practice enterprise is called modeling. But what is this exactly and how could it be done? Well, let's orientate on an original company. A company where also your practice enterprise should be active. We orientate on the experiences, the reality, the perceptions and the recognitions of the original company to create in a first step an internal model with scientific and situational representations. The second transformation is marked through simplification, substitution and accentuation to finally create in the last step your valid model of a practice enterprise. Other specific tools for modeling are, for example, partner companies on which you can orientate. They can give you more insight to the business structure, just like your original company, as shown in the illustration. Real business plans and also business models, or the most important industry key figures, can also be used to create a valid company model. In our virtual economy enterprise at the University of Graz, every semester work about 20 students of our Master Business Education and Development. Our aim is to develop competence of action taking, in German Handlungskompetenz, and how to teach our students how to teach a practice firm. The KF Uniline exists since 1996 and offers further development on the practice firm market. Our second practice enterprise is the Expand, which was founded in 2004. It is a consulting firm and its working language is English. In our practice firm course, we also cooperate with a native speaker in our English virtual enterprise. We want to introduce some cornerstones of our practice firm work to you now. Our course is compulsory for all students of our degree. It covers 4 hours per week over 1 semester and is valid 6 ECTS. We have weekly 3 hours meetings with our students, where we have an agenda and write a protocol to document all important decisions. The day-to-day business is done in 4 departments and processes in our own practice firm office. I will introduce you to this later on. There, in this office, our students have access 24/7. At the beginning of a semester, we develop our mission statement and fix the strategy and set objectives for our company and the several departments. Our students also fix their personal learning targets for their practice firm semester. The weekly meetings are divided into the business and the pedagogical meetings. In the pedagogical meetings, they are necessary for reflection, for modeling, and for discussing the role of a teacher in a practice firm, and also for evaluation. And it is so important for a practice firm teacher because we focus on working on the model by writing a business plan for our practice firms. Our accountancy department prepares monthly controlling reports, and we also monthly revise the written aim sheets. Our special highlights are the strategy seminar at the beginning of the semester. We also organize special seminars for further education and other events, for example, participating in a trade fair with other practice firms or in a competition to achieve a quality certificate for our practice firm. At the end of the semester, our students create an annual financial statement and a business report. They also create a portfolio, including a final reflection report. As an example, the Expand, our practice firm at University of Graz, consists of 3 processes, namely consulting and sales, learning point, and the management. The 3 departments are marketing, monitoring and support, and accounting. As you can see in the illustration below, they support each other and work together to ensure a smooth running of business. The figure illustrates the departments described further and the interlocking processes. As you can see, there are the main activities of each process and department. For a smooth practice enterprise process, it is particularly important to address the interfaces between the departments. For example, between consulting and accounting, the writing of invoices and the bookkeeping of invoices. There are really many options how a practice enterprise office can be designed and structured. As you can see on the illustration, this is one quite typical setting, and you can see that there are different tables where the departments work together, and also office equipment, for example the scanner, copier or PC, are required in real. The shown topics are also part of the cooperation project HypeNet, which is an Erasmus Plus funded project. This project is an international one with partners from Lithuania, Bulgaria, Italy, Germany, and as well the PEN Worldwide is a project partner. One part of the cooperation project is to develop a manual for the implementation of practice enterprises in a higher education institution context. So if you are interested in implementing a practice enterprise at your higher education institution, you can find more information on the website written in the chat. And if you want to hear more about sustainable implementation of higher education of practice firms in higher education institutions, we would love to see you at the 92nd SIEC International Conference to the topic Sustainability Meets Business Education in Trieste, in Italy, in July in 2021. We really hope you enjoyed our introduction to practice enterprise in higher education institutions, and we would like to wish you all the best. Goodbye.